Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shanae, and if you don't know, when I read my books, I like to stop every so often and kind of rant to my husband about what's going on in the book. And he's such a great listener. He stops what he's doing and listens to everything I have to say. And we decided this time around, since I reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, he was kind of repeating back to me some of the things that I had been saying, and I thought it was hilarious. So we decided, why don't we record a video where he just tries to recap the book based off of what I've told him. And so that's what we're gonna do today. So you can see this is me telling him about the book as I'm reading it, and he's just absorbing all of the many details of the story. And I can only imagine what's going through his mind when I'm telling him these crazy stories and what's happening. So we just got to the end of the book here, and I'm telling him about how Tamlin kills Amarantha because Amarantha killed Feyre, and all the High Lords come together to save Feyre. And now, without further ado, let's get into him recapping the book for you.
All right, so this is my attempt at recapping. I feel like I'm gonna miss a lot because I feel like I only got the broad strokes, and I'm gonna try to fill in information the best I can. Let's go. So the book starts off with this girl, Feyre, a human, and you find out that her dad is a degenerate who gambled their inheritance away, like shipping overseas or something. And some reason he gets so upset by losing all of the family's money that they become poor, even though they were like at one point really wealthy. And Feyre's the youngest of three girls, and then there's like two older sisters. I don't even know their name, but I know they're like really stupid and hateful, and one of them is like really snobby and condescending, and the other one is like, she can't be bothered to work or do anything or lift a finger to help her or her family, but she also pretends that she's better than everyone, which is really weird. Like, you're living in poverty, and like, I don't know, it says some weird sisters. So anyways, Feyre is the only one helping her family, making sure they eat, get money any way she can to survive by like killing animals and, you know, stuff like that. I'm sure she like sells pelts or whatever. And then, so it's basically all on the younger daughter to support her father, who doesn't want to work anymore. Now he's like a wood carver, which I don't know how you can't be useful doing that, because like, I was thinking about Sekiro and the dude who makes all the items for the main character, and how he was a wood carver and he made things that were useful. And you could even like, anyways, I'm gonna go on a rant. I just am so bothered by the dad being able to do something and not doing anything. One day, Feyre's out hunting a deer, or trying to, and feed the family, and she's chasing it all around the forest. And then as she's about to like take her shot at the deer or something, she realizes that there's like a wolf, freaking werewolf, giant super wolf. Wolves are already big, but this thing's like some sort of super wolf. And she decides that instead of killing the deer, which I guess might make sense, she's gonna kill this giant wolf, and they'll have like triple the meat, and they could get rid of this predator. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. So she shoots the wolf, who I think was already injured, so she thought she could just finish it off. I think it had like an arrow in it or something. Maybe I'm wrong. And after she kills it, I don't really know if he turned into like a fairy, or I think she like killed it and skinned it and took it home or something weird like that. And then all of a sudden the fairy police show up, and they're really upset that one of their fairy people are dead because there's like some sort of unknown treaty between the humans and the fairies. But if the fairies don't ever make themselves known, it's really weird. Like, you didn't know about this treaty no one told you about, and you broke the laws. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of weird. It's like, how in the heck am I supposed to know about this ancient treaty written however many years ago in secret? So he gives her a choice: die on the spot or come live in fairy world with me. And what happens next? Her family is like just like terrible people. Sorry, I'm not trying to cuss. Terrible people, and they're just like totally like, yeah, let her go, like just go with them, like no pushback, support whatsoever. So she ends up just leaving instead of dying. There's not really much of a choice, and she stays in fairy world. And you find out that the guy who took her, his name is Tamlin, and Tamlin took her to his like mansion, the court of Thorns or owls or whatever, court of something. And
like, should I correct you or should I just let you keep going?
I don't know, honestly, whatever. I know it's a court of something. I don't know if it's the court of Thorns or if it's the court of something else, clocks or something. So he takes her to the court, and she finds out that everyone was cursed by the witch queen. That's what I think. She's Amarantha. We'll get to her in a second, but yeah, I'm gonna call her the witch queen for the rest of the video. But apparently the house was cursed, and now they all like are stuck wearing like masquerade mask, which is a really weird curse to have. And it's like, I don't know what that does, but I guess that would suck to have to live that way forever. Tamlin is like, yeah, you can live here and be happy, and like life might be better or something. And then Farah is just a little ridiculous and wants to explore and do things she's told not to. So like one night Tamlin throws like a big old party or something, and then Farah is told one thing, to stay inside, don't come out during the party, and then she's like immediately like, I don't know, I guess you don't really know the danger, but I don't know, who knows what you're gonna see. And she ends up going out, and then she meets like fairies with rabies or something. They're all angry. I think it's like the curse that Amaranth put on like these people. There's like some sort of blight or curse, and then like some of the fairies are like crazy or something at night or always, I'm not sure. And she almost gets killed by these like rabid fairies, and then Tamlin has to come and save her. And then it's like a Beauty and the Beast situation, I guess, over a period of time, where she starts to fall in love with her captor, like Stockholm Syndrome, and they end up like loving each other, which I guess her life wasn't really great before, so this is definitely an upgrade, even though she's technically being held hostage, but she also is like able to do what she wants for the most part. Also, she thinks, if I'm remembering this right, that there's like no fairies but like a few of them, and that's because all the fairy people are like putting illusion magic on themselves, and they're like invisible, but they're like all around her and watching her at all times, but she doesn't realize that they're everywhere watching her. So she's just like being made fun of, and like they're like looking at this weird awkward human who's just like really dumb. I guess she's like a teenager, but anyways. So after that, what happens after that? There's I think Amaranth's butler servant guy comes. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. Something with an R, I think. Roberto. And he comes, and how did we get here? So at one point, there's like a point where, who is it, Tamlin or the butler? The guy who's like Amarantha's like slave person who does what she wants is like, Ugh, what happens? I don't know how we get here. Anyways, so one day, I think Tamlin is just someone's talking crap to the queen. Is like, well, like humans are better. Like you're what was it? The brother, someone who loved Amaranth, or Amaranth loved him, and then he loved a human instead. So now she hates all humans. And then she found out about Feyre. Maybe she didn't know. I honestly don't know how we got here. But eventually it comes to where, like, Feyre gets sent away by Tamlin. And when she goes back home, because Tamlin told her, like, get out of here. I don't know if she said, like, you're free or something. But this is all after they fell in love. Tamlin told her to go home. She goes home, and then she found out that the fairies made her family super rich and wealthy, and they're living like a perfect elite life. And apparently her sister, which slips my mind, the older sister, is like so unbelievably stubborn that even like fairy magic that can make people wealthy overnight and give them all these things and like create illusions out of nothing. They're not powerful enough to freaking break this stubborn lady. And like, I remember everything. And it's like, it's weird. It's like, how can you be that stubborn? I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, so Feyre and her start to bond about what they know together about the situation, and they actually get closer through it, I'm pretty sure, and they like bond better. But then the butler guy, the dude that's like under Amaranth, is like coming, and I think he's like saying that Amarantha loves Tamlin. I think, is it? I don't know. I think something to do with Tamlin. And she I'm so off. I feel like I'm missing so much.
I'm gonna have so many like thought bubbles on the screen for what I'm saying. But you should keep going. I think it's great.
So the butler guy comes, and then he's like, I think Amaranth is trying to kill Tamlin or something, and that's part of the reason why Tamlin sent Feyre away. So she goes back to Fairy World somehow with the butler maybe, and then the queen is like telling her to do these trials, and I don't know why, but there was okay, yeah. So the queen is like, you got to do these trials, and she's like, you either do these 3 trials or you solve this riddle, and I can't remember the riddle like thing. It's just this really long thing. I was read to it and I didn't know what the answer was, so if you did, then you're pretty cool. But the first test is so she has to do this all to free Tamlin and like save him, and it'll like break the curse or something. I think that's on his house, and he'll be free finally, and you know, whatever, something like that. And then she agrees, and she couldn't solve the riddle, so she ends up doing the trial, but she's still able to solve the riddle at any point, so I guess she might just be thinking about that in the back of her mind the entire time. But she ends up doing the trial, and the first trial is her fighting like some super ancient worm thing, and I'm like thinking of the worm from like SpongeBob, but I also feel like that doesn't make any sense because that worm is like massive, and it says that she's like jumping down these like worm tunnels, and then she finds like a pile of like bones and stuff, and she ends up like using those bones to make like a trap for the worm to fall into and like impaling it. So it might not be that big of a worm, maybe like the Tremors worm, but that's still pretty freaking terrifying. Those are awful. So she ends up tricking the worm to fall down this hole, getting impaled by the bones, and then she kills it, which is really weird because I thought, I mean, these are weird fairies, and Amaranth is like torturing people and being a weirdo with her butler. So, so it's I guess it makes sense that they don't really care about like the earth and peace and love and all that stuff.
Poor worm.
Yeah, like they just kill this worm. Who knows? That worm could be like 200 years old, like some ancient worm. And let us put him to death just to watch this human possibly succeed, which I guess is a reoccurring thing because then the third trial comes. Like, what the heck are they doing? Like, I don't know how Amaranth has been in power for all this time. Like, anyways, so she kills the worm, and when she's like falling down the tunnel, she breaks her arm, and then the butler guy is like, I'll heal your arm so you can do the rest of the test. And it's like, you got to stay with me like for an entire, or like 3 weeks out of the month or something. She's like, I'm not staying that long. It's like, and they're negotiating and they end up agreeing on 7 days. And so she agrees to that. And I think he's just being a little creep. I don't know why he wants her to stay with him for 7 days. But I know there's fairy juice and that makes her forget things and dance, and like there's always paint on her thighs and she's like dancing in like a freaking cheesecloth or something, just like nothing at all. And I don't know how she got there. Okay, so yeah, the trials are taking place over a long period of time. They're not like back-to-back trials, that's why. So then they're giving her this fairy juice, which is like the juice from Blink Twice, and she's like forgetting everything and who knows what's happening to her, but she puts paint on herself so she could like see what they're doing to her for the most part, but it's still really weird. And then she realizes she's doing all these provocative things while she's like basically in a daze or trance or whatever it is. So she agrees to heal her arm in exchange for visiting him once a week every month, and she goes for that, gets her arm healed, and then she goes and drinks the fairy juice and does all this weird stuff for the fairy people, entertainment. And then the next trial finally comes, and it's to read these 3 like doors or tablets or something, and she has to guess the right like thing somehow, and she's like stressing out, and then she ends up just like guessing and picking the right one of the like, I don't know if it's a riddle like, or if it's just like, you just got to tell us what this sentence says, but it's in a language you don't understand, so you have to like fill the heart of the cards and like guess right. And she ends up guessing right, which probably Amaranth is like pretty peeved about. And then like another month passes and people are giving her more fairy juice and she's like in a daze. And then it goes to the third trial, and I think they're at Tamlin's house, maybe, I'm not sure. And she's told she needs to kill these 3 people in order to like beat the trial. And she sees Amaranth and Tamlin up there like just watching her do the trials, and then she's like, okay, I'll do this for Tamlin and for the people, because everyone like low-key, not low-key, but I don't know, probably low-key, but like not low-key, hates Amaranth. She's a psychopath who took over the world like 50 years ago, fairy world, and now she like rules with an iron fist. And then afterwards, so she's told she needs to kill these 3 fairies to complete the third and final task. And then she pulls the like what are those things called, like a knapsack, I don't know, something over the first fairy, and she finds out it's like a teenage fairy. And then it like gives exposition about how like fairies are not like really able to have kids, or it's super rare. So then Amaranth is like, let's put one of our kids up to die, which is weird. Like, you couldn't put like an old person or a middle-aged person. You gotta be like, let's put our most precious resource. Kind of like the worms. Like, you don't care about life or anything. You're like, let this ancient worm die for our entertainment and for her to complete the trial. And then now she's like giving up one of the fairy children who's like a teenager, who's probably like a couple 100 years old at least or something, but it's still ridiculous that you're giving up like a precious resource, or just children in general. And so, of course, being the hero she is, she murders a child, and that's kind of weird. But she's like, I'm doing it for all of you guys. I have to murder children. Like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird anti-hero thing. It's like, I guess, maybe, like, damn. And then the next one, she pulls the thing off the next fairy to kill her person, and it's like a person, like a regular fairy, and they're like giving her the go-ahead, like, do it, this is for the greater good. And she's like, all right, and with like no hesitation, she just kills her casually. And then it gets to the third one, and she just callously kills all these people. And then she takes off the sack, and she realizes it's Tamlin, and that she was using illusion magic to like make Tamlin look like he's by the like queen, like by the throne or something. And she's like, oh no, I can't kill the love of my life, only everyone else. And it's kind of weird. It's like, shut up, I don't know, you're a psycho. I guess you're doing this for love, but I can't imagine killing a bunch of people just to be like, save my wife. Like, that seems weird. I don't know. I guess for true love, you're like, I'll kill anyone I have to, even children. But, you know, she's a hero. So it's all in a good place, I guess. And then, anyways, I'm ranting now. So she is like having a brain blast, like Jimmy Neutron, and she starts
So
to
Raven.
like think about, yeah, that's so Raven, where she like has a premonition, and she starts to think about like everything that she was ever told, and like she was told to take everything seriously or literally, that what fairies say, because it's all like true. And then she remembers like 2 different times where they talked about Tamlin having the heart of stone. And I mean, maybe she's a genius, because if I heard someone say that, I would just think that this guy's like a calloused a-hole or something. But she's like, that must mean he has a heart of stone. So then she stabs him in the heart and hits his stone heart, because it is really stone. And then he doesn't die. And then Amarantha's like, you won, I think. But it's like, did she win? Because she was told to kill 3 people, and then she stabs this guy in the heart, and then he doesn't die. It's like kind of weird that she's told she has to do this. And then Amarantha's like really mad, and she apparently starts like torturing her, just breaking like every bone in her body like a psycho would. And then all these fairies are just watching it happen, and nobody's doing anything. It's really weird that there's like a whole court of fairies, and they're just watching their people get killed, and other people get killed, and everyone's getting killed, but like the person they need to kill is like a whole, I don't know. I think they should just go Julius Caesar on her and just start, you know, collectively beating her up or something, or die trying. But I mean, I don't know, maybe she's just super crazy powerful that it's not even worth it. But as she's torturing the main character, Feyre, she goes in her mind, and she's like realizes the riddle to the thing. The answer to the riddle is love, and she like blurts that out. And then Amaranth gets so upset that she figured out the riddle that she like snaps her neck and kills her. And then I think the curse gets broken because she solved it. I hope that's what happened, yeah. And then Tamlin is able to turn into like a werewolf creature, whatever he turns into. I don't even know. He turns into a monster, and then he like bites Amaranth's neck and kills her, which is like a long time coming. Is he the? I'm pretty sure he's the only family that's cursed. Like, is there no one else who could have turned into a beast and like bit her neck or something? It's like, is Tamlin the only one who has the jaws strong enough? Anyways, I got too many questions. So he kills her, and then the 7 fairy lords of these like different courts come together, and they like put their energy into Feyre, and then she gets resurrected, and all of her bones like unbreak due to fairy magic, which it sounds like it's overpowered, but apparently they can't do anything because Amaranth. I don't know how she was so overpowered and everyone else wasn't. She like sucking all their energy, or they like gave it to her during the war when she took over. I don't know, some weirdness. But they all put their power in her, and they can resurrect people from the dead who've been like tortured and mutilated. And then she comes back, and now she's a fairy because she got fairy magic in her. And then she becomes High Fae. And then the book ends with her and Tamlin and the Amaranth's butler. I can't remember his name. Oh man, Amaranth's butler, like all skipping in the moonlight or the sunlight and walking in the distance, and everything's a happy ending, and it's all sunshine and rainbows. It's interesting. So that's pretty much all I remember. I know I skipped a bunch. Remember there was like fairy juice and the paint and other things.
You definitely got the main points.
The main points.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to find out what happened, consider reading this book yourself, and you could tell me all the like stuff that I missed that was really important.
Yeah, tell him all the names he got wrong and all the events that he got backwards.
I know I kept saying Amaranth, but it's Amaranth, I think, or it's Amaranth.
The other way.
Oh, it's Amarantha, and I kept calling her Amaranth. Okay. So yeah, I knew it was like one of those two, so I kept bouncing back and forth. So
this was really fun.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I really love this. So this shows me how much my husband listens to me while I'm ranting to him about my books. So if you want to see more, I am reading the next book, A Court of Mist and Fury, and I've been waiting to rant to him because I don't want to like confuse him on the story. So now
I would be confused. I was confused just hearing this book, so that's good.
Yeah, so now that we've made this video, I can start talking to him about the next book. So if you want to see more, consider subscribing, give us a like, leave us some comments of what you thought, and we'll see you later. Bye.